So guys are coming back ready to go. We had a good start to the day, and we're underway. I know Carolina's had some rough times here in the last few weeks, but we see them as a very good football team with tremendous amount of potential in their offense. And whenever you're playing Cam Newton, you have your hands full. He's done a ton of stuff the last few weeks. He's run the ball a lot more than he had, which just adds to the problem of stopping these guys. So we got to do a really good job and get ready. It's a big game plan for us to put together because of all of the stuff they do. So it's really important that we get cranked up. So yeah, we have a couple guys that surprised us a little bit with looking like they're going to practice today. Luke Wilson should be out there going, and Thurl Simon also. So that's a good little boost for us. We're concerned about those guys. Now we got to make them take them from day to day, but it's good to have those guys back out there.
With Cam, is he developing more as a pocket passer this year? It's kind of seen the difference with him just as a pure quarterback as opposed to a guy who runs around?
No, he's been doing this for a long time. He's looked like this for quite some time now. He can do anything. He's terrific in the pocket. He can get out. They move him. They have a very diverse package of stuff because he's so able to handle everything. So, and he can scramble too, obviously. He's good at that, but you have to defend him in the pocket first because he's really good at that. And so he stands tall and throws the ball over the field.
What's your fullback plan for the weekend?
Yeah, you wait and see. We'll unveil that as we get there.
Did Robert Turbin do enough to show that you could do that?
Yes. Yeah, he did admirably, and he's welcomed the challenge of taking care of business there for us. So that's a positive move for us because he's a really good football player on the field, and he'll help us in other ways too.
Byron Maxwell or Max Unger got a chance this week?
Maxie's ahead of Max Unger. Byron will do some stuff, continue, but we won't see him practicing today, so we'll just check it out and see how he is tomorrow. I just saw Max running right now, so he's really on the track getting back here, but we don't know when yet.
Bobby Wagner's been such a key for you in defending against Cam Newton on getting out of the pocket and so forth. Now you're not going to have him. How do you adjust to that this week with the challenge of Cam specifically?
Well, we don't really adjust. We just make do. And Bobby has had some signature plays where he's run them down and shown the great speed that he has. So you can't replace 4-4 when you don't have it. So. But that just calls for everybody to do a good job when he does take off, and we'll have to corral him. And the guys coming out of the secondary as well, which we've had to call on in the past too.
Now that you're a few more days beyond the Harvin trade, how do you feel the team's kind of moved on from that now, getting everybody back in the building today?
It's the same. I mean, we already have made that move, so it doesn't feel any different today. So we're moving on.
Your last three drives against the Rams were, I think, 98, 101, and 92, all of them touchdowns. Do you feel like you maybe turned a corner offensively in that second half?
I'm hoping so. We really feel like that. The guys felt really comfortable about what we were asking them to do and in their roles, and everything fit together really well for the 2.5 quarters, and we moved the ball pretty well. So we're hoping that we can keep getting better and stay with that and take off from there. There was a real good sense on the offensive side, about protecting the quarterback and mixing, like I said, the run system all worked out well for us. So we'll see if we can keep going.
What do you think the biggest differences were in that second half for you guys offensively versus the first?
We had trouble getting started. A little behind the sticks a couple times too, and then once we got rolling, it just felt like it was much cleaner. Everybody was confident and moving quickly. We're in and out of the huddle quickly and executing well, and just all of the things that you look for were present. For really, unfortunately, 2.5 quarters.
Jordan Hill have a chance this week, or?
Doesn't look like that. He's still hobbling around a little bit.
There's obviously a size difference, but are Cam and Russell different types of throwing quarterbacks when they run? Do they run differently?
They're different athletically, of course, because he's so much taller. But they're both very effective when they move out and have good vision and all. I think they're pretty similar. Russell's stuff all happens kind of spinning around it and jumping around more so. Cam's a little more deliberate, but he has good vision down the field. He's had a lot of plays in his career that he's strikes you down with a bomb or something when somebody gets loose. So I think he commands that whole area out of the pocket really well. He knows when to run. He knows when to throw the ball.
The penalties, the first 3 weeks wasn't, the numbers were down. Last 3 weeks they've been up a little bit. Is there any aspect of that that's more concerning than any other part of it when you look at the penalties you've been getting?
Yeah, we don't want any of them. We want to get rid of them. The differential from 10 penalties to 2 on your opponent's a big deal. That's in that game. We gave them a lot of stuff. So we continue to work on it. The line of scrimmage there was a couple. We had a delay that I could have fixed. With the timeout, but didn't. The aggressive penalties, there's always questions about them and how that sometimes they happen, sometimes they don't. We're going to continue to work to cut them down, though. We don't want that differential for our opponent.
Did you feel like you've seen any difference from the emphasis they talked about in the preseason with the illegal contact and all that? Now that we're 6 games in, have you felt
it's pretty much carried over. They found the rhythm with it, I think. But the hands to the face thing is a big penalty that's going on. It happens so incidentally that's a big one. The legal hands downfield. We haven't been victim of that very much. We've done well there, but I think the hands to the face thing has really shown up a lot. So it's good. It's the way the game has changed, and they fixed it a little bit. The grabbing downfield is pretty easy to call, and so they're getting pretty consistent about that. It's a good way we look at it now. There's nothing you can get away with at all. So we try to just stay out of that business. So I don't think it's wrecked the game, though. I think things are going okay.
You talked here today about changing some things scheme-wise to get the pass rush that you're looking for.
And you want to know exactly what those are, right?
Yeah. Ask you to share those with us, but I don't think you let us know. Can you get done what you want to get done with the personnel you have here, or do you feel like you have to make a move and bring somebody?
No. We basically have the same personnel we had a year ago. There's just a couple switches in there, so we totally believe in our guys, know that they can get it done.
Along those lines, when you're missing one linebacker and maybe you can't, does it limit how you can use Bruce as a pass rusher, or?
No, it doesn't affect it.
Tremaine had a big touchdown against them last year. Probably the first kind of breakthrough play from him. How has he gotten even better since then? And was that sort of the beginning for him?
Yeah, it is. To my recollection, that was the biggest play he made. Maybe there's a couple other ones, but he's just become a fixture for us. We count on him to make the plays that he makes. We use him in ways that we've come to understand is really good for him. Down the field, he's really good. He does a great job in the red zone. He's a route runner. He can really run really precise routes, and so we count on him to do that. And he's had a knack for making big plays. So he's he's just developed his role here, since then, and he's a real regular for us.
Without Cassius and maybe Jordan this week, how much of an issue is depth along the defensive line?
Well, there's a guy, we're a guy short there, from what we were, and we were developing Cassius's role, so we do miss him, but we have some flexibility. We're going to make sure that we do a good job of keeping our guys fresh and pay a little more attention to that, just so that we keep our rotations like we've liked it, and they got a little bit heavy for Michael and for Chris, as I said, so we have ways to do that.
Justin, great. You've seen him enough now, and he's gone against some pretty impressive, D linemen. What have you seen from him, and where do you still need to see some growth in the next few weeks?
He's become consistent. We're counting on him now to week to week to be on the calls and make the right choices and combination block properly and all that. I think in time he'll just get more stout, and he'll just be stronger at the point of attack, and those things will come. But he's done a really good job when you think about it. You threw in a rook right from the start, and he's had terrific guys to go against, and again he'll have some guys this week. But he's stood the test so far, and he'll only get better. And I think in the second half of the season he'll be much improved as well. So that very successful, for us.
Build chemistry with whoever's next to you in the line, but having JR next to him, considering that it wasn't that long ago that JR was thrown into a similar situation. How much have you seen that help both of your growth and development?
Yeah, Jared is a regular starter. He's put all that other stuff behind him, the pup stuff and the transition from the defensive side and all of that. He's a legitimate football player. He's playing great football, and he's not the most talkative guy in the world, but he does communicate well. It really helped that when Zach was with us early on, because he's tremendous at identifying and communicating and all that. He helped us. Lucas picked up, and so fortunately Zach got to kind of break Justin in, and it made a difference, I think. So those guys, they are growing together, and we will continue to improve. I think we'll continue to get better. We can count on that.
Your defense had an aura of invincibility coming into the season. With all the injuries after the last 2 games, what's the confidence of that group like right now?
They want to get back out there again. They want to go back on the field and get going. We don't feel like we've been as disruptive as we were. That's pretty easy to see that. So the guys, they just want to get out and keep playing, and hopefully we'll get back to where we're causing more problems. We're playing solid football. The numbers aren't terrible with us in terms of yardage, rushing yardage, and per attempt and stuff like that. But just the productivity hasn't happened. The disruptive plays that we were so counting on last year. So we'll see if that, we're 6 games in, and that's a long time for some people, but there's a lot of football to be played, and we're hopefully going to make a turn and really feel the same kind of results that we had before that were crucial to the way we played in general.
The defensive injuries speak for themselves in terms of there's an emotional edge.
Why would you ask that question? No. We're asking. I'm sorry.
Do you think there's an emotional edge lost this year compared to last year?
No, I'm hoping not. We're going to continue to keep battling. Everybody's working hard to bring the juice that we need in the way we played. You wonder because the balls aren't being tipped and it's not on the ground as much as it's been and stuff like that. I think that on our opponents and the top, we have seen the top 4 quarterbacks in the NFL in their first 6 games. Those guys have done a nice job against us. We'll see what happens. I think it kind of goes hand in hand with the productivity.
He had 28 picks a year ago. You're on pace for 5 right now. How much of that is because of the pass
They come in bunches. They come in bunches.
Yeah, okay. So I mean, there's just the concern about the pass rush
We
not
won't get any interceptions in those 6 games we've played, but we have a chance coming up this week. Can't do anything about those last ones.
Brett Brackett, what kind of role did you see?
We'll find out. From what I've seen on film, he's an all-around tight end, good catcher, good route runner, and have seen him block. I saw him actively against guys at Jacksonville, so I got to have a pretty good gauge. Guys that we knew that he was blocking. So we'll see what happens. But it's first day. I can't tell you much more than that.
We learned about Paul Richardson and Kevin Norwood last week for them going forward. What did you learn about how they played and how they're going to fit?
They handled it well. They had no problem going in and out of the game. Although the one substitution, we had a couple too many rookies out there. But other than that, I think Paul has shown really good consistency. He's done all of the things he did in preseason, what we've seen in camp. We love how he runs too, and he'll be a factor there. Hopefully, this is just Kevin's first shot, so we don't know much, but he handled it. Kevin's played in a bunch of big football games, and he's been a great come-through player in college. And we've seen nothing but that from him on the practice field. So when he gets his chances, he's going to be a factor. But he did fine, and he felt good for both those guys to be actively a part of the game plan and all.
With Averill and Bennett, they're not getting a lot of sacks. It seems like they're getting a lot of pressures. In situations like that, is it better to kind of wait it out, or do you alter things?
I'm not sure about situations like that, but we're going to count. These guys have rushed really hard and been very aggressive. I've looked at every one of their rushes and situations. And I think that we're going to count on those guys to continue to do what they're doing and try to help around them, and we got to get Mike active inside, and get him to be the disruptor that he can be. We need to help him with some stuff there. That's some stuff scheme-wise we'll tweak here and there. But those guys are bringing it, in my mind, it's going to happen. And we're just going to keep working until it does, and because we know it's there.
Talk about trying to maybe get back to a little bit more rotating with those guys, or limiting the snaps a little bit. When you watch their rushes in third, fourth quarter, second half, did you see any difference?
No, I don't. Their effort has been really good, and they've shown good conditioning. We haven't overplayed those guys. We've just played them more than we did before, and it's really percentage of plays that we're talking about. So we'll see if that factors in their favor. He's doing better. Yeah, he's doing better. He was here working out, rehabbing this morning. It's been a little bit slower than we had hoped. He's not as comfortable getting going on it, but everything worked well in the surgery. We're going to take him with us this week so he can visit the doctor out there, and well, hopefully he'll make a good turn here. I think they talked about there's a turn coming up here in the next week or so. We should really see him get better quickly.
Is Brian Walters still your kickoff guy for Sunday?
Yeah. That's the weekly question, right? Yes. Yeah.
Why? I mean, tell me why he's the right guy for that job.
He's really good at catching the ball and decision making, and we felt like it's the kicking game for us. When they're giving us the football, we want to get it, make sure we keep it, and that's what's most important. And he's really good at doing that.
You mentioned the defense being eager to get back out there. Does that maybe apply to the whole team in terms of you guys haven't lost 2 in a row in 2 years?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're taking the lead on that one. But offense is excited to get back out. They really felt a lot of momentum in last week's game, and they want to build on that. So we're kind of anxious to go play football again.
Anything else?